Hello guys, hope everyone's doing okay. Yeah, not really much to report, just gonna keep kind of getting on with this guy. Just to kind of recap, so at the end of, well, by the end of yesterday's stream, we reworked the lighting, and worked a fair bit on, sorry, just turning the music down in headphones. And we worked a fair bit on kind of skin textures, starting to add our first passes of, what's the word I'm looking for? First passes of variation. So yeah, not a huge amount kind of in terms of block out left to do. We've still got a fair bit of refinement to do though, especially on the clothing. We haven't even started on the clothing yet. I do still need to tweak the UVs, and I may res the skin to 8K or the color map to 8K, just because I'm finding that the resolution is kind of limited in a few areas, and I think some of the stuff that I want to do might be kind of a little bit difficult. Just something like the smaller veins around the eyes and stuff, it's not really working the way that I want it to. But yeah, so this is where we're currently up to. I left this render going today, so this is a full res. I quickly removed the groom from these, which is why it's like a little square. I decided I don't actually want groom. Oh, there's still this guy in here. But yeah, I don't actually want groom on these anymore. I'm gonna go with cloth. Granted, I still need to model these, they're just fizz at the moment. And I still need to pose the body and rework the clothing, but either way, lots to do. But I'm going to continue on skin today. In terms of the actual kind of the more high-res renders, it's starting to look okay. He still feels very, very fake. Yeah, I think the issue for me right now, the primary issues, is the sculpt. There's nowhere near enough going on. I'm not talking skin pores, I mean like the main forms. Like this shape here doesn't really make sense, the way that these two things are filled up. The eye bag thing we got going on here doesn't really work, and the actual shape of the eyes themselves is wrong as well. Hey Luke, how you doing? But yeah, so we're starting to get there. Obviously we need to work on the lips as well, because currently they're like super glossy. But once we've done a bit of work on that sort of stuff, I think I'll probably sculpt in the next stream or maybe the one after. But yes, this is where we're going up to. I may also rework the curtain. I might do a cloth sim today, just to get an actual curtain in place rather than this like proxy model thing we got going. The shader itself is working okay. The threads are massive, but I kind of like it. But yeah, so lots to do, but the images coming together. I might experiment with the lens effects at some point, but currently it's all turned off. God damn, that's nice. Thanks, man. Hey, G1. But yeah, so let's get into Mari and just continue working on this. I'm going to store this as a snapshot, because I will be removing the material from the clothing, just kind of speed up renders, because again, this collar is the heaviest thing in the scene to render. Just because we got this kind of net which has like a transparency over like a very high poly displaced cloth which has subsurface. It's all very, very heavy. So, and there's also some kind of bug happening that's making him glow on in the neck there, but we'll figure out what that is. Anyway, let's get into Mari. So yeah, I'm gonna just continue working on, yeah, I might have res this. I'm going to continue working on the skin for today. That's my main focus. Let me just see if I can up-res, resize. Oh yeah, I'm limited to 4K with, okay, cool. Okay, so I'm not going to go to 8K. I'd need to change my UVs to do that. We'll see if this gets far enough. If it doesn't, then I mean, I could always buy Mari. I try to avoid buying Mari. Also, the files wouldn't be compatible, so it'd take a while to get things transferred over. I'll figure it out eventually. But yeah, anyway, so hey Creams, how you doing, man? So let's just get the ref back on screen for a moment. So this is our main kind of skin ref. No idea what this guy did, but he was arrested for something. But I find his skin like really interesting to look at for reference. So this is kind of the general thing that we're going for. I'm trying to hand paint. I want to avoid projection, just because, well, I just want to get better at painting, really. And I feel like projection, obviously there's a skill to it, but I want to learn like actually how to build these layers myself rather than just projecting it and then correcting any kind of specular stuff. I want to actually try to learn to build this up from scratch. So that's what I'm trying to do anyway. But yeah, so I guess we'll just get started. There's a few things I want to do around the eyes specifically today, so let's get going on that. So node graph, and I'm trying to remember where. So I've got the blemishes here. I got the freckles. Oh, okay, one of these isn't actually freckles. Oh, that's liver spots. All right, cool. So. Okay, so I'm going to work in some blemish. Just kind of get the top of the eye feeling a little bit more organic. You just started learning Mari today? Nice. Yeah, Mari is a really cool program. You won't regret learning it. Gets that bruising effect. Come on. That's a bit too strong still, isn't it? Mike, do you opt on using texture SOZ for skin albedo, or you're just painting it like a maniac? Currently painting it like a maniac. Although for the FK Twigs project, where the focus was on getting realism, I used XYZ maps and then kind of hand paint on top of that and projected breath. For this project, I want to hand paint and hand sculpt like everything. Because basically this is a learning project for me. I want this project to show me everything I can't do. And once I know what I can't do, then I can spend time focusing on it. And there's a lot I can't do, but I want to see what I'm worst at. So that's what I'm doing. Definitely need to change the brush that this is using. I need something a bit softer. That velvet brush we used the other day was quite nice. Let's try this. Although I may, for this, need a different brush altogether. Right, yeah, let's go to yeah, 4K is so low res on these UVs. Let's go to basic brush and super soft. I'm going to Let's get that liver spots going. Let's erase that actually. Don't want that. So that's kind of cool. How are you planning on the paws? I'll be sculpting that. I'm just trying out different brushes right now. This is kind of interesting. I suppose we don't have like any imperfections here, so let's go on to blemishes again. Blemishes is definitely carrying like way too much weight. Where is it? There it is. The goal of this blemishes layer is less to nail exact tones and more just to add variation. It looks more like a bruising under the skin than anything else, which I kind of like. Hello.
I know.
Did you come in my room to sneeze?
No, I have to go.
Yeah, leaving. Okay. What's that, guys?
No. Oh, you'll give me a kiss.
I'm gonna mute my microphone. Shut up, you. Right, I'm back. Sorry, Becca was heading out for the night, so I wanted to say bye. So, oh, wrong way. Yeah, let's make that a little bit more subtle in these areas. I'm running a risk of blemishes becoming too uniform. Again, the whole point of it is just to add variation. I don't necessarily care how it's doing it. Something like that will do. Right, so let's get liver spots, which I should rename because it's now just becoming blemishes 2.0. May have erased that completely, I don't know. No, it's still been there. I actually don't like that, so let's remove it. Right, so, back to brush. Hello. This needs to be a much smoother brush. Let's try fish egg. Now this colour in general is, I think it's too dark. This gets like a mottled effect. That needs fix. Let's get into quite like fish eggs. Let's see the blemishes. Yes, that's what blemishes is doing for us. Carrying probably a little bit too much weight now. I need to probably move on to a different channel, so let me just get this area here. I just want to add milia to around his eyes. And then I'm going to move on to doing a roughness map. Even if it's just basic, like I don't really mind, to be honest. So let's get into, well, I guess milia would be at the top level, right? So merge. Uniform, it's not uniform, it's color. And milia is like a very white, yellow kind of tone. Like something like that would be about right. At least for the average person. So let's create a paint node. Cool. And what's hives? So the value of this needs to go down, doesn't it? Let's quickly. Oh shit. gives an interesting pattern actually, so I might repurpose this. Yeah, I'm gonna repurpose that. So it's not Milia anymore. Just get that in a few places. I do need to fix this actually. Yeah, it gives quite a cool effect. I like that. Probably replace this, to be honest. Raising it until it's like almost completely gone, but it still does something. Like if I unhide this, I'm neutralizing the skin color a little bit. We love it there. This is, well, this should go all the way to the back, right? Like literally just after. I've already got yellow spots. Well, that's those bits. Yeah, I think this should replace it. So let's just quickly fix that. What I'm wondering is, should this go in front of blemishes? Nah, I don't think it should. But yeah, maybe it should. Okay, this is gonna get very confusing. It'd be cool if there's a way to like quickly reorder merge nodes. Yeah, that feels better. Alright, cool. What the hell's going on there? Why is deleting you getting rid of you? Oh, it's back. That was weird. Yeah, this purple's a bit much, isn't it? Let's tone that back a bit. Where is it?
That means you're extra.
add a vascularity layer soon, which does all like the veins and shit, and I want to add that milia layer still. So let's just quickly add merge, fill. Oh, okay, it's called color. I've kind of lost track of what the names are. See if any of my references have milia. There might be one there. Guess none of these guys have it. No. Yeah, looks like the only one I can find in this ref is this one here. So let's match that for color. I know I said this before, but just to reiterate, I always add an extra layer of saturation, or an extra bit of saturation. Reason that I always add that extra saturation is because when I'm painting my mask, I almost never reach a value of 1 in my mask, which isn't necessarily a good thing, but it's not a bad thing either. It just means that my colours never reach their full kind of strength. So if I oversaturate the colour, it means it'll be correct when you put the mask. Technically it'd be a lot better if I always maxed out the brush, but okay, that's way too... So it is too saturated. did I have instead of the alpha way? There we go. This brush has some weird thing around it. Let's go with that's a much more suitable brush. So vascularity layer, let's get into it. So I'm just going to call this one Milia. And then deposits. Cool. And vascularity would be all the way to the back, right? So let's create another merge. Color. I want this to be that kind of tone, I guess. Really wish I could go higher than 4K. Okay, so let's go into those. I think it's inorganic, right? It's like a vascular, there we go. So the way I like to use this brush, generally speaking, let me see if I can find some examples in his face. It has like little bits of vascularity coming through. So the way I like to use this kind of brush is to find like a size for it. It's like this big. Do something like that. And then going with a eraser that is set to super soft and just kind of feather in the edges. Kind of darken it as much as I need it to be darkened. It's mainly for use on places like the nose, but I love it. At some point I'll probably go into my UV view. Okay, so I'm gonna call that for now done, because I want to go onto another map. So let's just go with export current channel. So I just had a bit of a moment there where I just couldn't think. I also want to add peach fuzz at some point today and rework the nose hair. Right, so first let's just go to this clear coat mask. Go to our node graph. So you're down. There you are. So let's just quickly I need to get rid of the stuff that's on his lips, basically. What happens if I view this bit? Nothing. Oh, I need to get rid of bottom transparency here. There we go. I feel like that could have probably caused issues. Yes, let's go super soft and just, I said super soft. Come on, Mari. There you go. Just erase out the lip there. Okay. I'll add the tongue back in, don't worry. Let's get into the UVs. Terrifying. So the roughness is kind of a fun one in that, like, it will need to change the moment that I do, it will need to change the moment that I, oh shit, what's the word I'm looking for again? Oh yeah, the moment I do the fine skin displacement. So that completely throws everything up, and you need to decrease your roughness when you do that. But at the moment I don't have that, so I'm going to create well, I need to make a spec map and I need to make a roughness map. So let's create a channel. And just call this one spec RGH spec rough. And plug the output of that. So 0.6 is our current base. What's our base in here? Don't have the hype shader. What's our skin roughness set to it now? 0.45, alright, cool. Edge. Okay, and let's just create another constant. And this one, RGB, set this to, let's just test see if it's working first. Yeah, okay, so it's definitely working. So this one's gonna go to like half the roughness. And it'll actually a little bit more. Let's go 0.3, something like that. And this is exclusively for the T-zone. So the T-zone is like the greasiest part of your face. Bring this guy over. So we need a little bit of lips as well, but basically the skin displacement is doing a fair bit of this, like the skin pores are breaking out reflections, but this bit is much glossier than this bit, for example. Like the tip of your nose is always one of the glossier parts of your face. Lips are glossier than the rest. Around the eyes are glossier, plus the extra wetness layer. and your forehead can be generally greasier. So I'm going to kind of map that out in general and throw that on, and we'll see how that goes. So I just need to create paint, and that will plug into here. Const skin rough. Const skin. Oh. Okay, and this will be paint, skin, GH. This is specifically for the greasiest areas. And I'm going to use a organic brush for this. Let's go in with sponge 2. Okay, and I'm just going to view this channel as the second input. Okay. Go into my painting quickly. I may have pressed masking disabled. Hold on, why has everything disappeared? This brush is probably a little bit too rough, but let's just see. As in the brush itself, there's too much texture. In fact, let's change it. Let's try sponge free. No, there's still too much texture. This has more texture, but at very least it's like a far grainier texture. Always ends up back on this brush. Really like this velvet brush. At some point I will be getting the displacement map, like the high frequency one, and plugging that into the roughness in some way. That just helps you kind of bring out the details a little bit. Okay, so I should probably get a little bit on the ears as well. The ears tend to be very, very reflective. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to change my approach a little bit here. I'm going to set this to push through and just paint this kind of section of the ear. Nice, there we go. Because I'll be tweaking it, like we're doing other passes later, so let's just get it done quickly. Turn you off. Basic pass like that will do. Just get a little bit in the corners of the mouth. Just for variation's sake, let's add a merge on top of that. This one will merge a, is it called cloud or, there it is. Is there an add subtract? I always forget. I always forget what add sub is. Either way. Just to get a little bit more variation in there. So let's go to channels. I should probably rename this actually. Cool. Once this is done, I'll close the file, and well, I'll save. Close the file, and start an archive. Okay. While that's going, let's grab the skin shader of this dude. Okay, and let's create a file node. Oh, we also need to update the clear coat mask, which should rename to wetness mask. Do that. Oh, beautiful, it switched camera. So let's get into the correct camera, please. Let that do its thing for a moment. Definitely feeling a lot more sickly now, isn't it? Not sure the spec rough is working yet. Probably need to leave that until I've got the skin disp, like the high frequency one. Lips are looking better though. Right, so what's the next thing to do? I guess while this is cooking in the background, we could throw on a quick peach fuzz. Which actually, now that I've got Mari, I can start painting actual maps for this shit. Which is a relief. Right, so I need to find a macro skin. Skin macro. Face. Okay, let me search face. Oh yeah. Face. And the actual name for it is Bella's hair. Yeah, it's only really Grim artist has got peach fuzz. Bella's hairs, yeah. Oh Jesus. This is obviously quite extreme. This is more what you expect. Yeah, Bella's hair is basically just incredibly thin hairs that basically cover all of your skin as far as I remember. Or like a vast majority of your skin. It is on the nose as well, just incredibly short. So let's start... Yeah, let's start with getting some Bella's hair in there. I quite like this new splotchiness. I'll send a render overnight tonight. This is feeling a lot better now. Yeah, I'll leave a render going overnight tonight, so I don't have to worry too much about this. Cool, so Bella's hairs, let's get started. Yeti, create Yeti node and mesh. Outliner. PG Yeti. For peach fuzz. I do need to rework the stuff, but I need to rework all the groups at some point, but looking amazing already. Cheers, mate. Yeah, so let's quickly Yeti create group on mesh for peach fuzz. Okay, let's just drop that on there. Okay, so we got that. Because I can drag this now if I remember correctly. And it still knows where to find it. Yeah, cool. So, edit Grim. Oh, that's not what I want. Tool settings. There we are. So, Yeah, I can probably allow every, but Yet is a lot more efficient with guides in terms of like actually as an artist working with them. It's a lot more efficient with guides than Action is, at least in my opinion. Like I'm okay with throwing down loads of guides if they're going to be short anyway. If they're going to be long, then no, fuck that. But short guides tend to be pretty easy just to throw stuff together. You have them around your eye as well, but I'm going to leave that for a moment. I'm going to start by fixing the length. Cool. So, as we paint, fill everything to 0.5, maybe 0.4. So I'm currently setting the longest hairs, okay, and then let's paint 0.2 in other places. So right now I should be consulting reference to make sure I'm getting this right, but I'm not. Okay, so let's go. The nose has incredibly short vellus hair. So we'll get this blocked out. Cool. And then let's go half that. And this is the hair on the nose. Then once I've got the length blocked out by region, something like that will do. We'll see if we need to go shorter in a moment. What I like to do at this point is just grab the fill tool. If I can remember which one that is. Fuck, which one's the fill tool? Oh no, it's all of them. Okay, cool. So I like to go to blur and fill. And it's trying its best. Okay, doesn't seem to be working. Maybe, okay, you're working. Maybe it just struggles with the amount of range I've got on this. Or maybe it doesn't support past a certain amount of guys, because that doesn't seem to be doing anything. Oh, it's doing something. It's just incredibly, incredibly subtle. Cool. Now we've got all that, time to quickly come in. something you can do if you're incredibly lazy like I am is you can brush all this stuff and not really worry about whether or not it's intersecting. And the reason being is because it's all node based, you can brush all of this perfectly flat to the skin, and then when you apply the comb node, you can just tell it to not have full weight so that it doesn't perfectly follow your comb. It kind of tries to flatten it, and that just stops it, or it doesn't, it tries to kind of keep it straight even. And that kind of stands the hair up on its end a little bit. I'll probably remove quite a few of these guides, but stuff like this. I'm also going to resample all these strands, resample them all down to like 5 or something. Because you don't need a lot for what I'm doing. I don't need detail. I need performance. Okay, so reduce stuff like this. Just get some swirly patterns in there. Not really caring too much about how accurate it is right now. Just get something. Like that. Cool. And then we're just going to go into Yeti. So first off, say you type 0.1 or something. Cool. Then let's go and hide this. So it's the Yeti graph editor that I want right now. Cool. Then we go to Grim, grow you. So 0.1 looks like it's nowhere near enough. Let's just add a 0 to this and see. Yeah. Okay, so maybe triple that. Create a density map at some point. It's just the lazy throw together version, just so I have something. Let's lower the CV count. 5 should be absolutely fine. If not less, I'll see if we can go less. So then let's just set the weight of that to like 0.8 or something. And let's lift it out the skin. There we go. And then I'm going to lower the density a fair bit. Let's go 400. Cool. Then we just add a width. Like that. This is a hairy boy. Cool. let's just quickly duplicate this. I need to install a new Yeti because it fixes that. When you copy paste nodes, it keeps the connections to the other nodes. Into the cool. Compute. Down the width even more. There we go. So now I need a Petrus material, which I'll assign now. I think I called them by their name, right? We're just going to set Melon to 0 and be done with it. I do need to make sure that this is set to not do a 10 times render. Okay, so that's going to the Arnold render. Do a very small section like here. To actually render with my actual perspective camera here. Yeah, it's something though. Yeah, we're getting a bit of the fuzz coming through. stop that. Go to sequence cam. And temporarily assign AI Lambert to this boy. That's about right. Maybe it's a little bit too short on the cheek right now. It is very uniformly spaced, which might be an issue. A lot of this stuff just fucking vanishes the moment you start doing anything fancy to the skin. Well, that's right, I do need to make some changes to the facial hair too, so let's quickly do that. Cool, so let's go into here. So I want to push these into the skin a bit if I haven't already. I already have, alright, cool. Let's increase the width then. Okay, the material for it, what's it doing? So we got the melanin, which is U. The max is set to 0.2. So I want a little bit more than that actually. Yeah, I want a bit more than that. Let's go to like 0.4 in the melanin, but I'll leave the diffuse well alone. This extra thickness might be a bit much. Density looks really low as well. put that a little bit higher. Let's go 240. Try that view. If you're wondering why I hid the grooms and then changed the frame, basically Yeti recalculates the groom on every single frame, which is really annoying. As far as I know, the only way to stop it is to cache it to like a Yeti groom file. Unless, let me check actually. No, there's a way to stop it from updating on every frame. I don't think so. Checking the peach first, so it's got a more rim lit angle. This bug is really annoying. I still haven't figured out what's causing it. It's probably an intersection thing, but I don't know, and it's really annoying. His face is working really well from this angle. I don't know why. I really need to fix the Kuroko. It's so bad. Ugh. That'll be first thing on the next stream to fix. I think I might call it for today's stream. Let me just save this guy. Close. Archive. Cool. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I might call it for this stream. Just so I can kind of figure out what I want to do, basically. But yeah, we're making some pretty solid progress. I think one of the next things is definitely to... I do want to rework the iris at some point. The iris shading isn't really working for me. It's too dark and horrible looking. But yeah, anyway. Skin's starting to feel a bit better. Needs sculpting though. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so I'm going to end the stream here. Just because I want to get a little render going of like a proper angle. Like a progress check. And I also want to go play games. I did stream yesterday as well, so yeah, I'll leave this frame going overnight. The one that I just killed. Yeah, I'll leave that going overnight, but portrait shot. But yeah, so let's just quickly get a render cam. I need to assign cloth ruffle cover, cloth ruffle, cloth outfit. Cool. And I'm going to test resolution. Yeah, I'll leave this going for half an hour just so we have something for the progress renders. And then I'm going to, overnight tonight, leave that kind of portrait shot going. And yeah, probably next stream, still going to continue to work on the face, I think, but I might move on to a little bit of model changes. I still need to figure out one of the hats, because he's actually got 2 layers of hats, and I never really spent time on the second layer. So still got a fair bit of modeling to do. I think, yeah, maybe we should focus on cloth modeling for a little while, get the scene looking better. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to call it there, as I've said for the last like 10 minutes. I hope you guys have had a good night, and yeah, I wish you guys all the best, and I'll hopefully see you over the weekend, maybe the next stream. Definitely be streaming again next week. The next weekend, so not this one coming, but the week after, I'm going to be going home to visit my family, so I won't be streaming that weekend. Becca will still be in Belfast, but I'll be going to see my family. Yeah, so I won't be streaming this weekend, but I'll be streaming this weekend probably. So yeah, anyway, have a good night, guys. Bye.